Hello, everyone. My name is Dariel Archuleta, and this is going to be the fourth installment of the Church of Reason. So, for this installment, we're going to be talking about a man named Nostradamus, who is a person who had a lot of alleged prophecies that may or may not be true. Okay, and we're going to investigate them, and we're going to make a decision for ourselves whether or not these are true prophecies or not. Okay, now the first one that I want to cover is to do with the COVID pandemic. And I've got two different quatrains for you, and we're going to see which one seems more like the actual event. Okay, so we'll just read them both, and you can decide for yourself which one sounds like it's more accurate to what happened. Okay, now the first one here is
There will be a twin year, from which will arise a queen, who will come from the east, and who will spread a plague in the darkness of night on the country with 7 hills, and will transform the twilight of men into dust, to destroy and ruin the world. It will be the end of the world economy as you know it.
so what do you think about that one? Okay, you know, in your own mind, pick which one of these you think is better fitting. Okay, and we'll talk about them both. Okay, so the next one here is
Before long, all will be set in order. We will expect a very sinister century. The state of the masked and solitary ones much changed. Few will be found who want to be in their place.
okay. So, uh, now that you've heard them both, go ahead and think about it. Think about which one is is more accurate. Okay, and then we're gonna talk about uh, which one is real and which one is fake. Okay, now if you picked the first one, okay, that's a fake one. That one didn't happen. Okay, this quatrain, and I'll read it again for you. There will be a twin year from which will arise a queen who will come from the east and who will spread a plague in the darkness of night on a country with 7 hills, and will transform the twilight of men into dust to destroy and ruin the world. It will be the end of the world economy as you know it. Okay, that is not a real quatrain and was not in the prophecies. Okay, someone wrote this after the COVID crisis and put it on the internet so that people would find it and think that somebody that Nostradamus predicted COVID, right? Now the other one, we're gonna go back up to it, is from the prophecies. This is Century 2. This is Quatrain 10, so you can look this up, and we'll read it again. It says, before long, all will be set in order. We will expect a very sinister century. The state of the masked and solitary ones much changed. Few will be found who want to be in their place. Okay, so let's just take the quatrain line for line, and we're just gonna analyze it as we go. Okay, so it says in the first line, all will be set in order. Now, what is this talking about? Well, how long did the COVID event actually happen? Okay, only 2 years, 2 maybe 3 years. Okay, and it's steadily dying off. Right, all will before long, all will be set in order. Everything's pretty much back to the way it was. Right. Okay, the next one says, we will expect a very sinister century. Now, how many people during the COVID crisis expected a sinister century? How many people thought that the COVID virus was a man-made virus that was being set loose on the earth to kill everybody, right? How many people thought that? Lots of people. Okay, how many people thought that the vaccines were some sort of sinister plot to affect everybody, that there was going to be tracking devices, or some people are saying that it makes people magnetic, or it's got some sort of microbial robots, or the theories abound, right? So, did people expect that there was a sinister century? Yes. Okay. The state of the masked and solitary ones much changed. How many people were drastically changed by having to wear the masks, having to stay indoors, having to change their entire lifestyle because of the virus, right? Everybody, right? Everybody had to, follow the rules and everything, right? So, were the masked and solitary ones much changed? Yeah, they were much changed. Okay, the final line is few will be found who want to be in their place. How many people didn't want to be in their place? How many people didn't want to follow the rules? Didn't want to wear the masks? Didn't want the vaccine, right? How many people didn't want those things? Tons of people, almost everybody, right? So, here we've got a quatrain that pretty much is about the virus, okay? And we can look at it, and it's hard to look at this quatrain once you see it and see something else, okay? Could it pertain to another event in history? I don't see one, you know? Now, some people might say, well, what about the Spanish flu? There was a lot of masked people during the Spanish flu. But here's the thing to think about, okay? Were those masked people, were they, you know, solitary ones? Were they people being told to stay in their homes all the time? No. Okay, how that worked back in the Spanish flu days, what they would do is they would find all the people who had the Spanish flu and they would isolate those people. They would quarantine the people who were afflicted, okay? They weren't quarantining everybody. This was the first time in history that people were told you stay inside, you don't go outside, you wear the masks all the time. You know, when everybody self quarantined, that was the first time that ever happened, okay? Now, what else is there? The Spanish flu was just not the same kind of a virus as the COVID, okay? And the world did not respond in the same way that they did with the COVID virus, okay? So, and you can look at other pandemics, you can look at other things. What else could this mean? Well, there's not that much that it can mean. And that's one of the things that I want to talk about with this video is that a lot of people, look at the skeptics of Nostradamus will look at the quatrains and they go, well, that could pretty much mean anything. Why should we take this to heart when, these are ambiguous, lines that, no one knows what they mean, right? Well, this one here seems pretty straightforward, okay? And there's not a lot of other things that it could mean. Now, one of the tricks to reading these things is that if you're finding an event and it doesn't match up exactly with what the quatrain says, it's the wrong event. It's just the wrong one, okay? So let's just look at another one just to give you an idea of this, okay?